Hi, Dune YouTube. It's Will from Will Development. This is my 333rd weekly update. Let's just get right into it, and then I'll do the little bits of talking afterward. How's that sound? I don't hear anything back, which is probably a good sign. So, we had squats, and I supersetted those with banded leg curls. I sort of realized I've been neglecting sort of direct hamstring work. So I said, well, an easy way to work that in is just after your squats, just put a band around the foot and just curl that leg and do it. And man, I had forgotten how effective it was, and I'm definitely going to be reincorporating that back in. Just lots more direct hamstring work. Wasn't neglecting it just because I don't like it. It was just one of those things where it sort of, I guess the phrase would be "slip my mind," which is not good. But you know, it's one of those things where I guess as long as you catch your mistake eventually, it's a good thing, right? Before it's too late. It's generally never too late in training. So squats, went back to high bar, worked up to a set of 2 at 275. My back's been a little iffy. It's not the same pain I was dealing with for the last, year and a half or so. It's like a more general tightness in the whole overall area. And honestly, Monday was just a really rough day. I just was not feeling it. Ended up just doing extra work on the bear squat machine, which doesn't seem to hurt my back as much. Or I shouldn't even use the word hurt, because hurt's not really the right word to describe the sensation. Regardless, just did some super wide bear squats. Part of that's because I'm thinking in my head, like, all right, this will carry over to the Bavarian deadlifts a little bit more, since I have to be so wide for those. So, and I can't generally squat that wide. That really irritates my hip. So we did that, and then did some sandbag pick and runs just to sort of work on the stone medley that's going to be there. And unfortunately, we only have a 100, which is really big, a 135, which is a little more compact, and then I'm thinking it's a 225. It could be a 240, but I'm not sure. I think it's 225. So I just set those three up and just ran them to one side of the gym and then back. Did that for a couple sets, and that was honestly enough. I was like, all right, cool. Phew. Beat after that, so it was good. Tuesday was feeling a lot better, and I actually managed to do a 180 jerk, which is great. Again, it's not one of those movements I'm working on necessarily to get better at the jerk movement. It's a movement I'm doing to get better at push pressing. And that worked out well, and it's been working out very well for me. Managed to do 190 for 4 sets of 4. The reality is the first set was for 4, and the second set was for 3, and then 1. And then the third set was also 3 and then 1. But to do, and the fourth set followed that same thing, to do 16 reps at 190 is awesome, and I feel really good about it. The overhead is going in the right direction. And then a bunch of accessory stuff after that. Went to squat yesterday, and it just was not happening. I worked up to like 225, and I was like, this just feels awful. And I said, all right, you know what, instead, let's just go straight to the Bavarian deadlifts. And so I did those. Did a couple sets of those. And then did some lunges and stuff just to hit my legs a little bit. The Bavarians definitely hit my legs quite a bit. Made my back feel a little bit better, too. Yeah, this week was a little rougher. I think my calories were a little bit lower this week. I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm trying to figure out myself just by talking out loud what the hell happened. And then tonight went pretty okay. Did some flat bench. Worked up to 2 sets of 8 with 245. And those went pretty okay. I was feeling a little shaky all day, and I still was. I was supersetting those with pull-ups. And I did sets of 8 with just nothing, and then I said, let me just, on this last set, let me just do it with like a 45. Just sort of overload everything, and managed to get 5 reps with that. pretty clean. Did some incline work, and then did a bunch of shoulder accessory stuff. Went out to do the stone press, which I'm not, what's the word? I wasn't avoiding it this week. It was just one of those things where it was like, let me take just a little break from this, just to kind of take a break from this. And I said, okay, I'll do that. And then, so tonight I was like, I want to do at least one rep. No assistive gear at all. Let's just make sure we can do one rep. And I went out there and I got it up on my chest. And when I went for the one, I was like, oh no. And I put it down and it just like nothing felt right. Couldn't get my hands in the right place. Couldn't brace properly. And I was like, okay, let's go at it again, you know. Let's just do it. You know you're strong enough to do it. This is just, it's in your head. You're tired, yada yada. So I went up to do it and got it in position, and I could just tell that it was, nothing was right in my body. And I was like, okay. And I put it down, and then all of a sudden I was like, whoa. And I kind of went to my knees, and then I woke up on my back. And I was like, okay, so that's fun. So that's actually the first time I've ever passed out on anything. And I think a big part of it was just my calories were just a little bit too low today. And by a little bit, I mean like 400 too low. Especially for what I was doing. Today was more of a volume day anyway, so I definitely needed the more carbs today, and I did not get those, and I should have. It's my own fault, you know. I prepped last night, and I just didn't do it, and I should have, and it's so, you know, nobody to blame. Luckily, nothing's too badly banged up. I banged my finger a little bit on the way down, and then one of my knees kind of got banged up on the way down, I guess. But I got up, walked inside, sat down for a few minutes, and I was like, okay, let's drink some water, let's just chill out, you're okay, nothing bad really happened. Went back out, and I said, let me just do this once. You have to do this once, you know. Got it on my chest, and it was one of the easiest ones I've ever done. It just went straight up, and I was like, cool, perfect, great, awesome. Put it down, felt good the whole movement, didn't feel dizzy again, like I was going to pass out, so that's good news. I didn't break the block, didn't break myself, call it a win, and still was able to get one rep after kind of taxing myself a little bit with no assistive gear, so that felt really good. Probably going to do a more of a volume week next week, and because I'll be doing that, I'll be eating a little bit more. I'm weighing in at like 195-ish, averaging this week, so I know I'm really good in terms of weigh-ins next Friday. And my intention is to go weigh in the morning, that way I can eat even more Friday throughout the day and go from there. And I'll probably still show up day of the competition at like 198, but I'm thinking even if, let's say Wednesday or Thursday night, I weigh myself and I weigh, you know, 198 on the nose, I'll probably still weigh like 196 the next morning. So, excuse me, the slow weight loss I've been doing is probably a good thing too. I just may have cut it a little bit too much today, but everything's good. I'm fine, and I think the moral of the story this week is that failure is going to happen, and sometimes it's pretty catastrophic. And if you're lucky, nothing gets damaged, and you'll get another shot. And if you get that other shot, for my money, go for it, because you'll probably surprise yourself. And not that I surprised myself tonight by getting that rep, but it was a hit to the confidence when I woke up on my back and I'm like, what happened? And then to just go back out and just be like, no, you need to do this, and just to do it, it erased that sort of scar I had from like, oh man, what if I feel like this day of the comp and then I pass out the day of, but it's like, no, you'll probably be okay. And then doing it, it was like, yes, you'll be okay. You'll be fine. You need to do this, and you did it. So if you fail, get back on the horse. What's that stupid line from Batman? Why do we fall down? So we can get back up. But it's cliche, but it's pretty true. If you fall, just get back up. You've got no choice. And reminded once again that nobody's going to pick you up for you. You got to get yourself up. And that's awesome, actually. When everything is on your shoulders, it's great because, especially when you're training for a comp, you can prepare yourself and you can walk in knowing, I've worked hard, I've done this, now I just need to show that I'm capable of these things. And if you're good enough, and you probably are, you can show that you're the best on that day. Or at least the best you on that day. And that's all we can really all hope for. And if I come in Saturday next week and I'm the best me that I can be, haha, rhyming, then I know I'll do good. And I know I'm going to come in as arguably the best version of me that I've ever been for this comp. So it's a bit of a redemption run from Tampa, because Tampa still really hurts. I have a relaxed confidence. And that's why we train. So train to get your relaxed confidence. And if you don't, then what's your excuse?